If you've ever wanted to feel like Spiderman in VR, minus the battles with bad guys, then Yupitergrad is your game. The concept of the game is pretty straightforward. We live in a glorious Soviet future and have reached to the stars in order to expand the Union. As a comrade cosmonaut of the people, you are tasked with an important mission that requires the skillful use of your cosmosticks in order to succeed. Once you clear your final training mission to demonstrate your superior skills in the use of your cosmosticks, you board your spaceship and begin your long journey to the main setting of the game, the Soviet space station, Yupitergrad. Once you arrive to your destination, you quickly realize that the station is in dire need of repairs, and you're the only available cosmonaut for the job, which means that it is time to show off your skills with the cosmosticks by navigating spinning fans, searing furnaces, and questionably placed meat grinders as you master the art of swinging in VR. And before you finish the game, that will be exactly what you will do. Yupitergrad spreads its challenges over 50 alleged levels with increasing complexity and difficulty as you progress. And yes, I intentionally used the word alleged, since the loading of each section seems to happen near instantaneously, so aside from keeping count of doorways, it becomes really hard to tell where one level ends and the next one starts, which in my book is always a good sign. Central to getting there though is the core of Yupitergrad's gameplay loop, the cosmosticks. Developer Game Dust has clearly put a lot of work into the movement mechanics. The plungers that you shoot from each of your arms stick to any blue surface you encounter, and pulling down hard will send you hurtling down in their direction. If you manage to build enough momentum, you can fly down corridors at breakneck speeds, which you will need in order to clear the larger jumps and obstacles. You go too fast though, and you risk hitting surfaces which will bring you to a grinding halt. If that was all there was to it, then obviously the gameplay loop would get old fast. But Yupitergrad manages to keep the game interesting by continuously presenting you with new types of obstacles that you will have to avoid in order to make it to the end. Yupitergrad manages to show off some of its best when it lets all of these game concepts blend together in a natural progression. Gaining speed to zip through long corridors, tackling corners at breakneck speeds, or simply propelling yourself through furnaces and gas clouds is a genuine rush, and amazingly still seems to obey the laws of physics in a convincing way. Your actions often result in the intended movements, and I haven't encountered any bugs that could have resulted in turning a well-placed shot into an untimely demise. That being said though, maintaining momentum is often crucial and not always as easy as it looks. While most levels provide plenty of avenues of approach where you can choose to fly at high speeds around corners or take a more methodical approach as you plan out each next step carefully, some of the later levels especially have a really thin margin of error, where if you end up missing your timing, you either have to turn around back to the start in order to rebuild your momentum, or end up getting crushed or otherwise obliterated by whatever obstacle is being featured. That being said though, I've never ever reached the point of frustration in any of the levels that made me stop having fun. Speaking of fun, the two characters that you will interact with in this game managed to insert a good amount of self-deprecating humor into the game, which honestly made me laugh at times.
To avoid the fence, brave cosmonaut. Unless you're a capitalistic fanatic. You get it? The fanatic. Ha ha.
Combining the light-hearted sense of humor with the cold brutalist architecture and the vibrant cel-shaded color scheme made Yupitergrad really come into a style of its own. Once you get to the end of the roughly 2-hour-long campaign, you can give yourself some extra game time by trying your hand at one of the 20 new time trial levels, which will push your skills to the limit. At its heart, Yupitergrad's brand of VR platforming offers a clean and thrilling sensation, which is complemented by a unique art style and amazing sense of self-deprecating Slavic humor. Making excellent use of the capabilities of VR in order to enhance its genre, Yupitergrad is definitely a game worth checking out. The only real downside, if any at all, is the relatively short length, which has me left hoping that developer Game Dust can keep up this streak of creative innovation to wow us again with a sequel sometime in the future.